My name is Lynn Roebuck, and I have the honor of introducing these special people. This is Dan O'Connor and Brad Heaven with All Access Life. And I want to tell you just a little bit about them in case you don't know or haven't already heard. They began their journey together in 2010 when Dan took on the role of Brad's full-time aide while he attended high school. And this job turned into a journey neither one of them expected. Over the years, they've built a very unique and everlasting friendship. Today, they are best friends and business partners, now using their unique journey and experiences with adaptive products and assistive technologies to help others with disabilities throughout their nonprofit All Access Life. Welcome, guys. Thank you.
So first off, everyone, thank you so much for joining our session here today. We'll start things off with a brief introduction. So my name is Dan O'Connor.
And my name is Bradley Heaven.
And Brad and I are the co-founders of a nonprofit organization called All Access Life.
There you go.
Now, our mission with our nonprofit All Access Life is to empower people with disabilities to live their best life. We're extremely happy to be here in front of you all today to be talking about the rise in adaptive gaming, which is a topic that we're extremely passionate about.
It definitely is. We are so excited to be talking with you guys on the subject of adaptive gaming, since gaming has had a huge impact on my life in recent years. We also can't wait to show you some epic gameplay on how I play video games using my head and my eyes, thanks to inventions like the Xbox Adaptive Controller, paired with Logitech's Adaptive Gaming and my TV Pilot eye tracking device in front of me here. In today's presentation, we will be talking about how I became a gamer after 22 years watching others play. We'll also be showcasing how gaming can be used as an educational tool. Firstly, Danny, can you summarize my gaming career up until recently for the audience?
Sure thing, Brad.
That's right, crickets.
So Brad's gaming career was non-existent due to not having the proper hardware or software in order to play. However, all that recently changed, and Brad can finally unleash his inner gamer thanks to advancements in adaptive products, which we'll get to in a bit. So we wanted to start, just let you guys know a little bit about our journey together. I started working with Brad as his integration aide 13 years ago, which is unbelievable because it feels like just yesterday we started working together. And this was all the way back in 2010. I have a video for you guys. Brad, right before he entered grade 7 and right around the time I started to work with him. So here he's using head switches to type onto a Dynavox device.
Bradley. Anyway, excited about visiting John Rapp. I hope to attend next year. Looking forward to seeing you at on the 28th.
Now, over all these years,
Sorry, another one.
no worries. So yes, over all these years working together, Brad and I developed a very unique bond. And we also developed a huge passion for assistive technology and adaptive products, since Brad uses them on a regular basis. So we said, hey, why don't we just join forces and use our passion, our knowledge, and our experience with all these adaptive products to create the first ever
One-stop shop.
for adaptive products. So we went to work, we built our website, allaccesslife.org. We launched our nonprofit, All Access Life, and our social media channels at All Access Life. So Brad and I, we love showcasing trends in accessibility. And today we're super excited to be talking to you all about adaptive gaming.
I'd now like to take a few minutes and talk about my journey as someone living with nonverbal dyskinetic cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is caused by lack of oxygen to the brain at birth. For my parents, it was scary because they didn't know anything about cerebral palsy and weren't sure what my life would be like. I don't think they would have ever thought that I'd be up here giving a presentation to all of you using my eyes. The moment that my parents knew I could understand what was happening around me was around the age of 3. We were all watching the movie, The Fox and the Hound, when the lady dropped off the fox in the wild and left him. I started to cry. My parents knew at that moment I could understand. I'm fortunate to have a very loving and caring family who take great care of me and who were my voice growing up when I didn't have one yet. I have two brothers and two sisters, and I am the baby of the family. I also have a nephew and three nieces who I love to the moon and back. At the age of 4, I was introduced to the world of AAC, which stands for Augmentative and Alternative Communication, which a term that's used to describe various methods of communication that can help people who are unable to use verbal speech to communicate. AAC methods vary and may be personalized to meet each individual's needs. I was so happy to finally be able to express myself. As the years went on, I continued getting an education and advancing my communication at my elementary school, McKay. The McKay Center School educates children with motor, speech, or sensory difficulties, and they had a huge impact on my life. I had so many amazing influences at McKay that helped me grow as an individual and helped me learn how to communicate, such as speech and language pathologists, occupational therapists, teachers, and PAPs. When it was time for me to enter high school, I was very scared. The staff at McKay wanted me to go to a mainstream high school instead of a specialized one. I was nervous because I wasn't sure how I would be accepted. I wasn't sure if I would be able to make friends or be bullied or not accepted in general. But John Rennie opened its arms to me, and I'm so thankful that I was pushed in this direction by the therapists and teachers at McKay. I made so many lasting friendships, took part in leadership camp, which gave me a huge boost in confidence, and I made so many more lifelong memories. This was also where I met Danny and our journey would begin. When it was time to move on to college, I was equally as scared because I was once again separating from the majority of my friends and moving on to college level material. I was nervous that college would be very hard and I would have a hard time keeping up. I was also worried that I would lose Danny as my aide and have to start fresh with someone else, but luckily Danny stuck by my side. Thank you, Danny.
Sir.
Thanks to the amazing Accessibility Center at Belsen, they guided me better than I ever could have imagined. They made the transition very smooth and were always there when I needed them. I also discovered eye tracking midway through my college career, which made using my computer and communicating almost instant. This made schoolwork like SS get finished in a fraction of the time.
Thanks for that, Brad. All right, guys. So now jumping back into gaming. So Brad and I found this quote online that says the video game industry is huge and shows no signs of slowing down. While there were almost 2 billion video gamers across the globe in 2015, this figure is expected to rise to over 3 billion this year. That's a lot of gamers. Now, although this industry granted access for billions of people to enjoy a fun and engaging activity, it also excluded an entire community of people with disabilities up until recently.
My gaming career was non-existent growing up. I remember I'd just sit there passively watching my friends and siblings play video games such as Banjo and Kazooie, Super Mario Brothers, and many others. I would be cheering them on from the sidelines. I would imagine what it would be like to play myself, to run around freely in a video game, exploring an entirely new universe and interacting with other players online, or take on the role of one of my superheroes and have special powers. I knew there was no way I'd ever be able to play using the standard controls or on a mouse and keyboard, so these remained part of my imagination. However, I knew I was a gamer at heart, and it saddened me that I wasn't able to participate. Sure, there were some basic games on some of my AAC devices that I could play, but nothing compared to the mainstream games that my friends and family were playing. When I began using an eye tracking, the AC device, I got my first taste of gaming. The easiest way to explain eye tracking is that my eyes are the mouse. There was a game called Beat Shot that was basically an accuracy game where you had to shoot targets with your eyes. I would constantly try to beat my high score. I would also challenge others to use my eye tracker and try to beat my score, but no one could. Ha ha. Fast forward a few months. In May 2018, I started hearing talk of this new controller Microsoft was creating called the Xbox Adaptive Controller.
So yeah, this is an epic picture right here. So this is a picture of Brad the first time he heard about the Xbox Adaptive Controller. We just finished one of his courses in college. We went back to the lunchroom, and all of a sudden Brad just started to spell OMG, OMG, OMG over and over on his device. I was like, Brad, what's going on? And sure enough, he had that picture pulled up on his screen. And he was telling me that Microsoft just created this new controller for people with disabilities to play video games. So Brad and I, we decided to order that controller a couple months later when it released, and we were off to the races. The first time we hooked Brad up, we played a fighting style game called Tekken. So it's basically like a 1-versus-1 battle. So Brad had these two elbow switches here. I believe this one was punch and this one was kick, I believe. And then he had move forward and jump on here. So it was a 1-versus-1 battle, me versus Brad. And I just remember his character just charged towards me, like hailing a vicious combination of punches and kicks. And we were both just laughing hysterically. It was definitely a moment both of us are never going to forget. Then a few days later, we decided to review this controller on our YouTube channel, which we had just launched maybe like 2 weeks prior. So we knew this controller would have an impact, but we didn't realize how big the impact would be because the review we made gathered about 1.3, 1.4 million views now. So it just went totally viral, and we were very surprised, and it kind of launched our YouTube career.
I absolutely love how a company as big as Microsoft created a product like this that is designed for gamers with disabilities. I love how the Xbox Adaptive Controller can be personalized to meet the user's needs. In my case, I use 2 head switches to play. This is because I have the most control over my head movements. However, Danny and I have experimented with a variety of different setups and switches over the years. We found some great games that we play together versus each other, and we always have a blast. Whenever we play, we record our sessions and make a video of our epic gameplay. When Danny and I play together as a team, we use the Copilot accessibility feature. This feature allows 2 controllers to act as one.
So yes, here's a compilation of some of the games that Brad and I played. First off, here is the Xbox Adaptive Controller. And here's an up-close shot of all the ports on the back of it. So these are the ports you can plug in adaptive switches to make any button accessible. And then this is the Logitech Adaptive Gaming Kit. So these are the switches you see right here that Brad uses as head switches. And this is how we play games together using the Copilot feature. Brad uses switches from Logitech's Adaptive Gaming Kit.
I use 2 head switches, programmed as the primary action buttons in a video game.
I control the rest of the buttons on a standard Xbox controller.
Together, we play as one controller, thanks to Microsoft's Copilot accessibility feature.
So this is a game called Hello Neighbor. And you have to run away, like break into the neighbor's house and run away from him if he's if he basically tries to catch you and you got to run. So Brad was programmed to sprint and jump. So it was Brad's job to run away, basically. And this is a fun game here. It's called Dive Kick. So it's a 2-button game. So you can either dive or kick. So it's an even playing field. It's a 1-versus-1 battle. And as you guys can see there, Brad just totally demolished me there. Yeah, I waited for you there. You got coach. Yeah, he's making coming back. And this is
I
FIFA.
always win.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think so, but so this is FIFA. This is probably one of our favorite games. So Brad's programmed to shoot and pass. So I control the rest of the buttons, and he shoots and passes. Yeah. And this is the first time we played together, and it took us about an hour to get our first goal. So we were super excited once we got it.
Now I want to discuss eye tracking gaming in more detail. After the discovery of the Xbox Adaptive Controller, I was hooked on gaming. I wanted to see what advancements there were with eye tracking and video games. To my surprise, there weren't a whole lot of games that incorporated accessibility features that allowed me to play autonomously using my eyes. However, I decided to use my eye tracking software at the time and see if I could play games using it. The software was called Windows Control 2 by Toby Dynavox. So I began experimenting with many games. These games weren't built for eye tracking, but Danny and I would try our best to find a way to play them. The games I had the most success on were click-based games where everything in the game was done through mouse clicks. I had a lot of fun playing a game called Path of Exiles, since moving the character, casting a spell, using a potion, equipping armor, interacting with the environment, and everything else was all click-based. So I was basically on the same playing field as everyone else. It was an unforgettable moment the first time Danny and I met online in Path of Exile. He was at his place, I was at my place, and then we were hanging out in a virtual world doing quests together and slaying monsters as a team. It was amazing. I also had a lot of success playing the popular video game World of Warcraft using my eye tracking device. I was able to move my character around and cast spells in this magical game. The main thing I love about eye tracking gaming is that I can do everything autonomously. I don't have to rely on others to set up the switches, turn on the device, open up the game, or select all the settings. I can do it all by myself. A few years ago, we were contacted by the creator of a video game called Hyperdot. This game was created with built-in accessibility features for eye tracking. This was a game changer. My eye tracking software always did the trick, but having built-in eye tracking features made me realize how much more enjoyable the game was and how much smoother of an experience it could be. The goal of the game was to use your eyes to control a target and dodge objects. There were 100 levels and each level got progressively harder. I love this game so much that we actually created an eye tracking challenge and challenged others to beat my high score, which was level 8. I thought it was a decent score until someone literally beat the game, getting past level 100 using his eyes. He was able to body it too, but I loved how this challenge brought everyone together. Gaming is for everyone.
So here's a little compilation of some of the eye tracking gaming that Brad just referred to. So this is the game World of Warcraft. So Bradley's playing with the Windows Control 2 panel right there on the side of the screen. And he's able to just kind of look at whatever he wants to do, and then his character moves with it. And then this was the first time that Brad and I met in the game Path of Exiles. It was just such an epic moment, and we'll definitely never forget that day. Okay, so here we have Hyperdot. So Brad is controlling that the green circle right there, and he's trying to dodge objects. So wherever he's looking, the green circle follows to that point. And he has to survive for like 15 seconds each level. And he gets really intense when he plays this game. I think this was the level that gave him some trouble, but Brad is a very determined young man, so he kept playing until he beat it. He just kept going back to that restart button. All right, so we wanted to quickly touch base on the future of adaptive gaming because there's some truly exciting innovations that are currently being developed. One in particular that Brad's had a lot of success with is virtual reality, actually, specifically the Meta Quest 2 headset. So at first, we actually didn't think Brad would be able to play virtual reality because he's unable to physically hold on to the VR controllers due to his involuntary movements. But we did a little bit of research and we found a company called Walking VR, which is that logo on the top left of the screen right there. And it's essentially a software that allows Brad's arm to actually become the VR controller. So he's not physically holding on to anything. His arms are acting as if he's holding on to the controller. So we have a video for you here just to give you guys an example. So he's playing Beat Saber here. And as you can see, he's moving his arms and the Beat Sabers are moving with them. And of course, he played some Fruit Ninja and he's slicing some fruits here. And he gets a full-on workout playing these games. And of course, I had to put him swimming with the sharks just to kind of scare him a little bit. So there he's freaking out.
One product I am extremely excited about is Apple's Vision Pro headset. The reason why I'm so excited about this product is that they are packed with accessibility features for people who have hearing, vision, cognitive, and motor impairments. Oh, and did I mention they have built-in eye tracking? This product will be life-changing for myself and others with disabilities. We made a funny video on our Instagram account a few weeks ago showcasing our excitement for the Vision Pro headset. Check it out.
Hey, Brad, did you schedule the afternoon meeting yet? Wait, what? I'm going to bring out dollars from Apple?
No, but I'm pretending that they are. The Vision Pro goggles have the potential to have a huge impact on my life. It's a series of disability due to all the accessibility settings that are packed into them.
So tell us, Brad, what are some of the key features you're looking for?
I have tried many headsets over the years, and none of them stay on my head due to their bulky design and placement of the battery pack. The Vision Pro goggles have a ski goggles type of design, which I think will be perfect for me. I practice how I communicate and interact with the world around me. Being able to navigate these goggles using my eyes will be life-changing. Since my eye tracking device is attached to my wheelchair, there's plenty of times I'm without it, like while driving, on flight or in bed, for example. Having the ability to communicate during these times will be a game changer.
Wow, dude, thanks for hearing. These goggles do seem very common. Well, I guess not these goggles, these are the ski goggles, the Vision Pro. Can't wait to get my hands on them.
Not me, Danny.
What do you mean? I thought you just told us how often they.
I can't wait to get my eyes on them.
All right, so gaming is being integrated more and more into education systems around the globe. As an example, on the left hand of the slide right here is our good friend Miles Harvey, who teaches media literacy, video games as literature, and scholastic esports at the James Monroe Middle School in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now, the reason why gaming is becoming more popular inside the classroom is because games provide, they engage students, they improve their problem-solving skills, they enhance creativity and imagination, and they allow for a more personalized learning experience. In a few minutes here, Brad's going to give you guys a live demo on some of the games that he plays on a regular basis to improve his cognitive skills, to socialize with his friends and family, and especially de-stress after a long day at the office.
For me and many others with disabilities who use assistive technology, gaming can be a great way to practice and improve your navigational skills on your devices. For me, I've seen huge improvements with my eye tracking dexterity thanks to gaming. Danny and I have begun doing AAC consultations, and we usually recommend gaming to clients who are starting out their AAC device journey. This allows them to learn how to access their device in a fun and engaging way. It also allows them to understand their device is much more than just a communication tool and can be used for fun activities.
So yes, here we have some gameplay. It's actually a new software called Look Lab. So it's a variety of different eye tracking games that just came out. So Brad decided to put it to the test and give you guys a little bit of a demo today. So everything here is being controlled by Brad's eyes. So here we have a basketball game. So he's able to move horizontally here. And he's got to get, he's controlling the hoop. So he has to get the ball inside the hoop. And he's got to avoid the bombs, of course. I don't know. Brad's so good. We never actually had that experience. So well, we'll have to give that a try one day. So this is like that popular game Pong. So he's got to control the bar there, and he controls it vertically. So here he's got to match up these cards. So here he's got to collect the cheese and then get the mouse out of the maze. And this is more of like a relaxation type of game right here. So whenever Brad wants to de-stress, he just puts this game on and kind of just looks around. It's very chill vibes. Got some nice music there too. Exactly, exactly. So he's able to do some coloring. So he chooses the color, chooses what he wants to color. He just gives it a look. And I believe Look Lab comes with a 30-day free trial. So I definitely recommend checking it out. So yeah, then he decided to play some guitar. So he's just looking around, moving the pick freely and generating his own music. Oh. All right, so now we're going to transition here to a live demo. So Brad is, hopefully this works out here. He's going to cast his device's screen to the TV. It's not popping up. Does anybody have any questions while we set this up? In the bag. Yeah, if there's any questions, we could just do a Q&A now. We were going to do it at the end, but
Yeah, yes.
yeah, so inside the Oculus like headset, like what Brad's seeing. Yeah, so essentially like in that gameplay that you saw, he basically just like if he's playing Fruit Ninja, he just sees it like the fruits on the screen there. And then he has to kind of swing his arm. Like he has to see if it's falling on this side. He's got to swing this arm to get it there. Oh, thank you. Okay. Yeah, so we have a software called, I believe it's called Wondershare Filmora that we just screen capture whatever's on the screen.
Students can use that, but it'd be great if I could actually see what they're seeing.
Exactly. Well, yeah, it's for sure important to see what they see on their screen 100%. Yeah. Pardon me?
The program.
Wondershare Filmora. It's like an editing software. Yeah, Michael's just setting the data. Okay, I do with the tablet. That's all right. Okay, here we go. This is connected. Try again, bud. And any more questions from like the live chat or yeah?
We found them to be helpful for kids with vision therapy.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Their eyes have convergence. Forget the words for it, but I wonder if the vision powered games would help with vision therapy.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I actually don't know the answer to that, but that's something we could definitely look into for sure. But it's a great question. Yeah. Yes.
Brad, do your eyes ever get tired?
That's a great question.
My thumbs get tired if I'm playing video games sometimes.
I always joke and say Brad's eye muscles are kind of like the Incredible Hulk. He's like, they're super strong because
Thankfully.
yeah, after like 10 minutes when I use the eye tracker, my eyes get super fatigued and yeah, he can eye track all day long. So yeah. All right, so the screen is now casted. So this is Brad's this is communication software. It's called TD Talk. So this is what Brad uses in order to communicate. He's got a standard keyboard layout right there. He's got some predictive words right here. He also has the ability to save some quick messages up top right there. So the yes, no. He's showing you guys that was the presentation he just went through.
Now I'm going to. Now I'm to show you how I play games using my TD pilot.
All right, so as Brad navigates, I'm going to try to explain here. I'm going to try to keep up with him and tell you guys what he's doing. So essentially, the best way to describe this device is basically an iPad surrounded by a specialized eye tracking case. So right now he's showing us a standard iPad layout. Anything I can do with my finger on an iPad, he can do with his eyes with this assistive touch menu that's on the screen right here. So he's showing you right now, you can pinch and zoom. So if he wants to zoom into a picture or zoom out, he can do that. If he wants to scroll, he was just scrolling before. So that's all done through Apple's accessibility feature called Assistive Touch, which is this black square menu you see right here. So now he's going to scroll back to the left. And I believe he's going to show us some games now. So this one I believe is called Bubble Witch Saga, if I'm not mistaken. So this one he's always playing at the office. There's always a bunch of noises going on. I don't really know how this game works, but it always sounds like he's doing good. So. As you guys can see, there's a whole lot of prizes he's able to claim. What is it going to end? This is not the actual gameplay. He's trying to get to the game right now. Turn on the music. Nice. All right, so I believe he gets like a certain color bubble and he has to match it with the color bubble at the top there. So he's got to have some good dexterity here. There you go. Nice. And you can see Brad's looking at the corners of his screen. Those are called hot corners. So he's able to program those to do whatever he wants. So I believe this one to swipe up to kind of close down the apps. So it makes things much quicker. Now he's debating on which game to play next. He's going to go into some Heyday, which is one of his favorite games. So this one, this one has like a social aspect too. He's part of like a group chat, so they can chat in the game and they kind of like, I guess, operate and run a farm. So it's pretty cool. He can tend to his crops, plant things. Again, all through the assistive touch accessibility feature. So right now, I think he's gathering some crops right here. He's going back to his TD Talk communication software right here. I know where he's going with this.
Thanks, Mark, for getting me addicted. So I believe there's a couple more games he's going to show us.
Oh, you're going with Fruit Ninja? Nice. Fruit Ninja, this is another one of his favorites. So here he chooses the hold and drag feature. So essentially it's like the equivalent of if my finger was on the screen holding down and slicing the fruit. He has the ability to do that again, using nothing but his eyes. Oh, Ninja Turtle style. Let's go. There you go. Nice. So yeah, he's got to have a lot of focus. So it's very engaging game for sure. Oh, you're almost halfway to your high score. Oh, nice. Oh. Oh, we might be seeing a new high score here. Go, bud. Nice. Go, get him, get him. Oh, so close. Nice. Pardon me? Yeah, so I believe it's called hold and drag. Yeah. Yeah, hold and drag.
So, as you guys can see, it is possible for everyone to be a gamer with the right hardware and software. There are still a lot of improvements that can be made when it comes to accessibility options in video games, but I'm thrilled that things are slowly being created and developed. Thanks for listening to how I became a gamer after 22 years of watching others. Now I have a lifetime ahead of me to be the gamer I've always wanted to be.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate you listening. So if there's any more questions, we're happy to do a Q&A here. If not, we appreciate you guys. Yes.
We are using a co-pilot. Does that take a lot of like communication between y'all?
Oh yeah. It's literally like the best style of gameplay because it's so unique. You know, I've always been a video gamer myself. So when you play just a fighting style game, we have to just coordinate. You know, like I'm yelling at him like bad now. You know, and like it's just it's so much fun.
Does that interfere with his like city pilot?
No, so that's just off to the side, and sometimes he gives me heck if I mess up, if we're playing like a Call of Duty, let's say, and I miss, you know, if my crosshair's not on the enemy and he's trying to fire, you know.
It makes for hilarious gameplay.
Yeah, we always have a blast. Yeah. So we have all those videos on our YouTube channel, so we definitely highly recommend checking those out because we always have a good time. Yes.
I've been following you guys on Instagram. So I'm so
Hey.
excited you're here.
Awesome.
Brad, what is your favorite? Because I know that you guys
Thanks for the support.
you've had some activities adapted over time. What's your favorite
Ooh.
activity or
Yeah, I knew it.
The bucket.
So yeah, I don't know if you guys remember the very popular 1990 game Bop It. So you could either bop it, pull it, or twist it. And it starts off very slow and gets faster and faster as you go on. So since Brad's unable to physically hold on to the Bop It to play, we had someone adapt the Bop It for us. So it's switch adapted. So Brad, let's say if he wants to be Bop It, he can have a switch on his tray and I control twist it and pull it. And then we play together as a team. And that's also a lot of fun. I believe our high score is like 30 or 40. But yeah, we got to work together as a team and he always has a blast.
Which we have to play, Hank.
Yeah, we got to get you guys teaming up for sure.
Yes.
So we actually, the only piece of merch we have right now is these running hats. So Brad and I, we run marathons every year. I push Brad 40 kilometers in an adaptive jogging stroller, and he actually runs the last 2.2 kilometers in an adaptive walker. So we have these hats that Brad actually drew the logo of the hats. It says no limits. And he drew that exactly using his eye tracker. So it's bad, like it's bad spelling of no limits, and it's super cool. We sell those on our website. So on allaccesslive.org/shop. Cool. But
Sorry, where do you see All Access Live in the future? What?
great question. Yeah. Word prediction.
Yes. We want to eventually open up a living facility for people with disabilities to live.
Yeah, so Brad and I, we have an office space and everything in our office is accessible for Brad. So we have, like, for example, a robot that vacuums and mops our office floor. So Brad's on cleaning duty at all times and he's kind of a perfectionist. He always has to make sure the floors are spotless. So he's able to open up the app on his device here and launch the robot using his eyes, you know, so technology is so empowering. And yeah, so this live-in facility we're hoping to eventually create. We want
Independence is key.
exactly. Yeah, we want everybody to be able to live autonomously and have all these adaptive products, you know, that they're able to use.
So on the buttons, if I were to get buttons for Kyle's chair, how would I put them up?
So yeah, I guess you could use like a gooseneck arm. Like this is like it's a water bottle, but you can get various devices. We can send you a message and show you some good products there that you can kind of manipulate it and put it anywhere. Like some people use like foot switches and knee switches. Like I said, Badder's using elbow switches. You could just make a controller that works for your needs, and that's why we love the Xbox adaptive controller and the Logitech adaptive gaming switches too. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Thank you.